The Yankees have just completed their worst week of the season, and I am here to tell every Yankee fan, no, this is not the end of our season. What's going on, guys? The King of 161st Street. I'm back with another video, and I didn't record a video for the last game of the Baltimore series, mostly because I realized that video stood for what happened in Game 3. I was talking about Game 2 and how pissed off I was at Aaron Boone for some of the decision making he had. Game 3 was an absolute disaster. Luis Gil with his worst start of the year, looking like a rookie himself. It was the one time the offense was able to score 6. When the other team scores 17, it doesn't mean much. Anyways, that is why I did not record a recap of the Baltimore series. Let's move on to the Atlanta series, a series that was supposed to be almost a get-right series against a good team that is a little injury riddled. Off the bat, first 2 pitches of the game, Jarred Kelenic single, Ozzie Albies home run, and we're behind the 8 ball. I've been saying this all season. I've liked what Carlos Rodon has done this season. He has finally added pitches to his repertoire, which has made him a more versatile pitcher. But he is a fastball pitcher at heart, and he loves to whip it out whenever he wants. And it costs him most of the time. In this game, it costed him mightily. After 1 inning, he had 3 very hard hit balls off of that fastball that was down a tick in that first inning. I didn't understand why his fastball was at 92 to 93 when he's been ranging about 95 to 97 for the majority of this season. It almost looked like he was injured, but then he sort of ramped it up once he got 6 runs put up on him. So that was a little weird. He's got to know when the fastball is not working, you have to go to something else. Yes, you have to show it sometimes, but make sure that you locate it properly. And if you don't know if you can locate it properly, at least make sure you're putting it in a zone where you do not think it will be hit out. In this outing, what did he do? His first two pitches, fastball up, single, fastball up and in, home run. Right there, you should have said, they're on my fastball, I got to adjust. Well, no, it took you up until Austin Riley's home run for you to then be like, maybe I'll take it down a tick. He started throwing his slider and he started striking people out. It's not that difficult, ladies and gentlemen. If a team has a game plan that we are going to hunt your fastball, if you keep throwing fastballs, they'll be ready for it. And especially when your fastball is down a tick. Because now, for when they were preparing for 95 to 97, now they only have to get their barrel on 92, 93. Easy pickings for them. And against that powerful of a lineup, you cannot let that happen. They let him go about 3 innings. He gives up 7 runs. This game was not all doom and gloom. Yoendrys Gomez entered this game for his first game of the season, and he shut the door on everything Atlanta was trying to do offensively. He looked amazing. Everything was on point. Exactly the type of thing we needed out of Carlos Rodon. Fastball, money. Slider looked sharp. He was able to fool hitters. Exactly the thing Carlos Rodon couldn't do is fool anybody. Yoendrys Gomez was fooling hitters. This was a statement game, and I hope that Yoendrys Gomez remains in the bullpen, as it has been a major flaw up to this point. Yankees lose that game, but there were some positives to come out of it. Now we go to game 2 of this Atlanta series. Marcus Stroman on the bump, and he looks good to start the game. Gets the first 2 batters out. Better start than game 1. But then Marcell Ozuna gets a sinker right in the middle of the plate, a little bit down, and he doesn't miss it. The Atlanta Braves take an early lead, but it is short-lived as the home run king, Aaron Judge, steps up again. After a Juan Soto walk, he hits an opposite field home run off of Max Fried, making it 2-1. The Yankees do not look back from there. They make Max Fried look average. And Max Fried is a great pitcher. So a lot of people were looking at this game saying, hey, that's a great pitcher we faced. We finally got our offense going. Maybe this is a turning point. Maybe we're finally turning out of this cycle. Yankees win that game 8-3. We go into game 3 looking to win a series for the first time in over a week and a half. And Nestor Cortes came out and he pitched beautifully. He had everything working. He continued his stretch of having such good home starts. His slider was sharp. His cutter was good. When Nestor Cortes is on, you're seeing a ton of swings and misses on that cutter. And that's what you saw today. It was a great performance, taking it all the way into the 7th inning, something that a Yankee pitcher hasn't done in over 3 weeks. At least it feels like it. The Yankees bats did not wake up in this game. Nestor Cortes leaves a couple pitches over the middle of the plate. Jared Kelenic takes advantage of one of them, puts it over the right center field wall right next to the bullpen. A ball that looked like it was a fly ball. This ball was carrying. It was the summer heat that really took this ball. You could really see it from Juan Soto's perspective, where he kind of stopped even before the warning track and then just kept going. And then it kept going. And it finally made it over a couple rows into the seats in right center field. Again, not a great located fastball on that, but one that not many people thought he got. They paid for it. They go on a run later on in the game to make it 3-0. Anthony Volpe then drives in Trent Grisham to make it a 3-1 game, and that ends up being your final. The Yankees lose this series. They lose Giancarlo Stanton in their only win in this series because he finally decided to bust his ass down the line, and rounding third, he pulls a hammy. Probably out for 2 to 3 weeks. It's always something. Finally, Giancarlo Stanton said, holy shit, I gotta bust my ass to score here, just because he takes it up a tick. He didn't even take it up a gear. He took it up a tick, and his hammy's done. The lineup is a lot more thin when Giancarlo Stanton is not there. Game 3, you saw the effects of not having a guy who can be a lefty killer. This is going to be a tough period of time where they are going to have to platoon a bunch of guys and try and mix and match to figure out where that DH spot is going. Judge will get DH time like he did in the final game, having Trent Grisham play center. Trent Grisham had an awesome game today, by the way. He was 3 for 3. That's not gonna last. He's still a 150 hitter on the year. Still gets only a few plate appearances per week. He is not going to be a consistent answer to replace Giancarlo Stanton till he gets back. You're going to have to mix in guys like Oswald Peraza, who was just up from the minor leagues. We just traded for JD Davis for a minor leaguer and some cash considerations. He's going to be platooning in center at that DH spot. They're going to have to make this work because Giancarlo Stanton, say what you want about him, this year he had 19 home runs. We're not even halfway through the year. He already has 19 home runs. This is his best year since his Marlins days. It really does suck that Giancarlo Stanton is so fragile that he is never able to consistently stay on the field. Because when he does consistently stay on the field, when he consistently gets at bats, this is what a healthy Giancarlo Stanton looks like. Yeah, he'll look absolutely dumb for a week. He'll follow it up with another week and a half where he puts up 10 home runs. It's the Giancarlo Stanton experience. And we're getting even less of Giancarlo looking stupid. Does he still chase from time to time? Yes. But when he's putting up the numbers that he is, this lineup is deadly. And that's part of why the Yankees have the best record in baseball, is because of how deep this lineup has become, partially because Giancarlo Stanton has stepped up. Now we have lost him for the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're probably not getting him back till mid-July, I would assume. How they go through this time without Giancarlo Stanton is really going to tell me how the rest of the season's going to go. Because like I said in the beginning of this video, the Yankees have just gone through their worst week of the year. They lose a series to Baltimore. They go straight into a series against Atlanta, and they lose that series pretty brutally. Like I just said, the Yankees are still the best team in baseball. The Houston Astros, although every Yankee fan should hate their guts, just did us a huge solid by sweeping the Baltimore Orioles. Meaning, the game that we lost in that Baltimore series, because we lost 2 out of 3, we gained that game back because we won a game in this Atlanta series. So starting the week before this Baltimore series, we were a game and a half up on Baltimore. We have ended the week a game and a half above Baltimore. So in the worst week of our year, it hasn't cost us much. If we can finally step on the gas and say, okay, we got our dog days out of the way. You know, in a 162 game season, you're going to have weeks like this. You're going to have weeks where it's just 2 things go wrong, 1 thing's right, 2 things are right, 1 thing goes wrong. It just, you can't even buy a win. We've seen it all the time with every single team. We just saw it with Baltimore this week. It's about how you recover from it. It should give the Yankees confidence. They have built themselves such a big start that they were able to go on this terrible streak where you got Luis Gil's worst start of the year, which it should remain Luis Gil's worst start of the year. We got Carlos Rodon's worst start of the year. We got a lot of pitchers' worst starts of the year. We got a Stroman bad start against Boston at least. We're still here. We're still here. Reinforcements are coming in with JD Davis. These last few series have exposed a few holes that this team has. We're not good at throwing runners out. Gleyber Torres has been bad. Anthony Rizzo is injured. We have a rookie playing first base. Let's talk about that for a second. Ben Rice playing first base, I'm going to have to see some power results at some point. For a guy who just made his debut against Baltimore, he has been putting up such professional at-bats. I'm most impressed by the fact that he's able to hang lefty-lefty with some of the best lefty pitchers in baseball. Notably, Chris Sale. He did not look overmatched against Chris Sale. That was a terrible game for the Yankees in general. That was the Carlos Rodon start. Offense still didn't step up, but Ben Rice's at-bats. You saw that nasty slider from Chris Sale. He was pairing it with a fastball going 97. And Ben Rice did not look phased. I love that for a kid who's just coming up. This was his 4th ever major league start, going up against a veteran of all veterans. He was able to look like a veteran in that batter's box. That's one of the things that I look for in a young hitter. Do you look overmatched? And there are some guys that come up and they immediately look overmatched. Think Everson Pereira. When he came up with the Jason Dominguez and Austin Wells call-ups, he was the guy that looked absolutely overmatched. Jason Dominguez, fine. And Austin Wells, he looked okay. He had his moments, but he didn't look overmatched. But Everson Pereira, you saw major league pitching was an issue. That to me tells me Ben Rice belongs here. Now, the amount of time he stays here will all depend on whether he's able to start elevating the ball a little bit better than he has, because most of his hits have been line drive singles to right field, or they've been line outs, ground outs, all to the right side. I hate to say this, but he does remind me a little bit of Greg Bird. The swing, when I first saw the swing, the first game against Baltimore, I literally saw Greg Bird in that box. Ben Rice has a better eye than Greg Bird did, so that's a plus. It seems like everything is very pull happy with Ben Rice. You hope that he's able to make adjustments moving forward and he's able to start pushing the ball the other way. So far, I am not hating what I'm seeing out of a guy like Ben Rice. So there are a lot of positives that you can take from some of these series losses. Yes, we lost Anthony Rizzo for about 2 months, probably. This arm fracture is going to take a little bit. We just found a guy who could be a good replacement option. Not saying I wanted Anthony Rizzo to get hurt. He was struggling, but you never want to see that out of a guy. You hope he's able to recover and come back better than ever. Aaron Judge is still playing at an MVP level. If you compare his numbers to where they were in 2022, they are eerily similar. Basically, he has the same amount of home runs that he did back when he hit 62 to the day. Right now, he got his 28th home run. He had 28 home runs on this day last year, or 2 years ago, when he won the MVP. There's a chance that if Aaron Judge stays healthy, we could be watching another chase for 62. So no, just because the Yankees have had a extremely tough week, this is not the end of our season. We are not all of a sudden mediocre. This is a team that has hit a bump in the road. Do we let the car stay on the side of the road, or do we fix this flat tire and keep going? I think we'll be doing the latter. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think that this series kind of exposed this team and we're going to start hitting mediocrity? Or are you like me and think this is just a bump in the road? Let me know down below. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below. If you're new here, hit that sub button. I'm out of here. Take care and peace.